Hello everybody, today my video is going to be divided into two parts. First part, I'm going to revise with you some different forms of tenses. And the second part will be about the passive voice, okay? By the way, this is Unit 9 from first year secondary stage, okay? My learning objective from this video is for my students is to be able to use the passive voice, okay? Let's start with the first part of the video, which is forms of tenses. I'm gonna start with the present or the simple present or present simple. I know well that all of you know the present simple, but do you know how to use it in your daily life? When you say the word present simple, you think of that I, we, you, they, plural noun, take the base form of the verb. Okay, no problem. But my question is, how can you use the present simple in your daily life? One of the most important questions that you should ask yourself about is, what do you do every day, what you do every summer, what you do every year, what you do every month? This is a present simple. So when I ask you, what do you do every day? You're gonna say, I get up in the morning at 7 o'clock, I wash my face, I have my breakfast at 9, I go to my school, I meet my friends, I have my lunch with my family. This is a present simple. So we use the present simple in order to express about habits or things that you usually do, like routines, for example. We'd like to use it in a right way. How can we use it in a right way? Any verb, you choose any verb you'd like. For example, the verb play. How many forms does any verb have in English? 4. Number 1, the base form. Number 2, don't plus the base form. Number 3, the verb with S. Number 4, doesn't with the base form of the verb. As you see, I'm not going to say a lot of details about the present simple because I know it's easy for you. But what I'd like to say here, two things on this page. Number 1, we have 4 forms for any verb in the present simple. Number 2 is we use it to talk about things that we usually do every day or every year or something like that. This is number 1. Number 2, the second tense that we have today is the simple past. As you see, I divided the verbs into 2 parts, regular and irregular verbs. The regular verbs, all verbs that end with D or ED or IED. The irregular verbs, no way. You have to know them without any change. For example, the verb be, the past of be is was or were, the past of drive is drove, the past of buy is bought. And if you'd like to get the negative form of that simple past, use didn't plus base form. Another tense, which is the present continuous or present progressive, I think it's so common. The present continuous means things that you are doing right now or things that you are gonna do in the future. For example, right now, I'm speaking English. Right now, we are studying English. This is what we are doing right now. Next Friday, we are gonna travel. Next Friday, we are gonna travel. So this is what? This is future plan. So we use the present continuous to talk about things that are happening right now or to express about future plans. Of course, the form of the present continuous, use am, is, are, verb, ing. Another tense is called the past continuous or past progressive. As you see, what is the difference between past continuous and past simple? Have you ever asked yourself that question before? The past simple, we know that something happened in the past and already finished. The past continuous, a verb which happened in the past, but it continued for a period of time in the past. Like, I was watching television last night. I was studying all night. I was studying all night. It means that I did a verb in the past and it took much time from me, okay? The form of the past continuous was were plus verb plus ing. This is the most important tense that we have, the present perfect. Why is it important? Because this tense makes a link between two tenses, the past and the present. For example, if you'd like to say that you did something in the past and you're still doing it, or you have just finished it right now, what can you say? Use the past. If you use the simple past, you're talking about something happened and finished. If you use the present, it happened in the past. So this is the function of the present perfect, is to connect between two tenses, the simple past and the present, okay? The form of the present perfect has or have plus PP, no PP, past participle, okay? Of course, you know, have, haven't, has, hasn't in the negative form. Another tense is called the past perfect. The past perfect. What is the difference between the past perfect and the simple past or past tense? The past perfect is also a verb that happened in the past, but it happened before the simple past. Okay, it happened before the simple past. The form of the past perfect had or hadn't plus past participle. Okay. Another thing, this is the last thing I'd like to talk about in this video, which is the modal verbs. What are the modal verbs? The modal verbs, if you ask anybody, what are the modal verbs? You will say can, could, will, would, shall, should, well, may, might, must, have to, has to, and so on. I know well that all of you know them well. But why do we call them modal verbs? Have you ever asked yourself about that before? Why do we call them modal verbs? We call them like that because we cannot depend on these verbs as main verbs. How come? I don't understand really. All these verbs need a main verb to follow them. So, for example, it's wrong to say I can. I can what? So you have to complete. I can study. I can work. I can run. I can speak English. I can speak Italian, and so. Is it right to say I must and stop? I must what? I must study. I must pray. I must obey my parents. So all these verbs should be followed by a main verb. Okay. Thank you for all of you. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. And inshallah, next video we are gonna complete this lesson. It's about the passive voice. Thank you.